Okay, these are photos that I've taken while working with Christian Peacemaker Teams, which is now known as Community Peacemaker Teams, or CPT as the abbreviation of the initials. And that's how a lot of people know us around the world, is CPT. And we work in war zones or areas where there's a threat of lethal conflict. And we go in there with the idea of working with people on both sides of the conflict and trying to find ones that we can bring together to help maybe transform the conflict and reduce the violence and find a way that they can maybe peacefully solve some of the complex situations. Most of these photos were taken between 2000 and 2019. There might be a couple that's more recent than that, but I think that's the general time frame of these. So like this group of photos here are just different things. Here's an example of the way that we work in CPT. They'd put razor wire up across the street to stop Palestinian merchants from opening their shops and restricting traffic there. And so we came and moved some of the razor wire and put up the sign praying for a peace of the cities. And we kept people there 24/7 for, I think, about a month, constantly praying for peace and talking with people and sharing. Where we're based over there is in Hebron, which is the place where Abraham and Sarah and Isaac and Rebecca and all them lived at the end of their life. And this is just a few blocks from where Abraham's buried. And so there's a lot of tourists that come through. And so it's a chance, doing these public witnesses like this on a low-key manner, it's a chance to have a conversation with people about the situation and introduce them to different aspects of it. And one of the things that we work with people on all sides of the conflict, and as an example, here's a photo of a lady who's the Israeli settlers who are there illegally and come and take Palestinian land by force and stuff. They had come into her farm area where her and her husband and family live, and they chopped down all the olive branches of the olive trees. And so we, the CPTers and the Red Hats, Rabbi Arik Asherman, who was at that time the director of Rabbis for Human Rights, and a Muslim couple replanted olive trees. Now the bad thing is it takes about 8 years for olive trees to produce fruit that can be sold and marketed, but it's, here's Christian, Jews, Muslims coming together to try to make a difference and change that. This photo here is of a man reading his Quran on the ruins of his home, where Israel had bombed this neighborhood. Nothing had been happening there. They did it as a way to show we have power and we can, do what we want. And a lot of the family, there's neighbors and stuff here, come to help rebuild some of the houses and clean up the mess. And he was, he was saying how you have to get back in touch with your spirituality. And so here in the midst of this ruin, he just started reading his Quran and praying. And that, to me, that was very inspiring that, he could center himself that way. And then afterwards, he helped and did lots of things for other people. And then the picture in the middle here is the group of people in the circle holding hands are Israeli settlers who, like I mentioned, are there illegally. They come and they take Palestinian land, they force people out of their homes. And the man here in the middle was a Palestinian who owned a house right there, and they were trying to force him and his family out. They'd set fire to his cars and everything, just doing that. And he had come home from where he was working, and when they did, they circled him and pushed him back and forth in the circle. And we just happened to be coming into that area at that time. And so I took the picture to document what was happening. And most of these photos are to document things that are happening, to put the human face on the stories of what was going on there. And so we came and then engaged the settlers in a conversation that, how is this going to make Israel safer? This isn't going to make people like Israel. This is making people, stand against Israel. And so we interrupted. You can see in the background of this photo, there's a military jeep. And the soldiers had been there watching this and allowing it to happen, not doing anything to intervene, which technically, under international law, they were required to do something to stop it. But they often turn a blind eye to this situation and actually end up helping sometimes the settlers, take over property and stuff. So that's an example of just some things that happen in daily life for Palestinians and Israelis living there.